In the United States, you can't, vote, you can't drink alcohol, you can't get a lottery ticket, you can't even rent a car. But yet, somehow, we're able to allow our children to make life-altering decisions with, in my opinion, predators that groom our children.
When Courtney Stodden was just 16, she married a man 3 times her age, a Hollywood actor older than her father.
Who was Courtney at 16?
A girl, a minor, a child.
Were you naive?
Of course. At 16, weren't we all? I was screaming for some kind of love.
The marriage sparked a national backlash.
A 16-year-old bride may seem like something from another culture or century.
51-year-old actor Doug Hutchison meets 16-year-old Courtney Stodden. They get married.
The marriage was perfectly legal because her mother signed over consent. Years later, Courtney's mom said she regretted that decision.
Everyone was in shock because the age difference is astronomical, but also the fact that this was a teen girl doing this. And I think what made this an even bigger headline was the realization that her parents had signed off on this happening.
When you're in love and you're underage, you're like, oh, this is my first love.
Were you in love?
I thought I was. I was in love with what he groomed me into believing was true. And I was in love with feeling so happy.
Special.
And feeling so special. And now in retrospect, I was never special.
Now she's turning her pain into power, working to ban child marriage for good, pushing for a California bill that would establish a minimum age of 18 in order to marry, sharing her advocacy on social media.
I left Sacramento emotionally exhausted. I cried, I shook, I kept going.
I was a child, not a bride. I wish people knew that children cannot consent to marriage. And this is about protecting kids, not politics.
Child marriage is still legal in California with a parent or guardian's consent. I sat down with Courtney last year as she opened up about the controversy surrounding her marriage. He was a Hollywood actor, Doug Hutchison, perhaps best known as the sadistic prison guard in The Green Mile.
No, I won't do it. You can't make me.
I was a child. He had power.
He was 51 years old when he married Courtney in 2011. Their very first interview after that bombshell marriage over 15 years ago, sitting down with ABC News.
I was a virgin when I married him.
She was saving herself.
I knew that if I kept that, I would really be blessed with a beautiful gift, and God did. He blessed me with my soulmate.
The pair first met when Courtney was a sophomore in high school, dreaming of a future in Hollywood. Wanting to support their daughter's dreams, Courtney's parents started looking for someone who could help her break into show business. At that time, Doug was advertising private acting lessons after having found fame in Hollywood and television on Lost.
I'm not making any sense, am I?
No.
After only 6 months of getting to know each other online and over the phone, Doug traveled to Courtney's hometown of Ocean Shores, Washington. His intention? To meet Courtney face-to-face for the very first time, and then ask her parents for her hand in marriage. After Courtney's mom signed consent, the two were married in Las Vegas.
Everyone who consumed their story felt cringy about it, but I think that no one really knew where to place that cringe. And unfortunately, I think Courtney became the villain in this story, and she obviously should not have been, because she was the child in this marriage. The tabloid press was really unforgiving to young women during this era.
A lot of people online say you're a pervert. What do you say to that?
I'm a pervert. Courtney is
whore.
a whore, and other. It's, you know what? It's people are welcome to their opinions. That's what the world is about.
Courtney and Doug's divorce was finalized in 2020. He's previously told Nightline that these allegations are false, malicious, and egregious, saying in part, Ms. Stodden has a history of unfortunate deception and/or exaggerations to depict herself as a victim, using unsubstantiated and provocative terms incautiously, like grooming, abusive, and predatory. Now 31 years old, Courtney is joining forces with advocacy groups including Unchained at Last, which says 33 states allow child marriage.
California, New Mexico, and Mississippi are the only states that have no minimum age to marry. California must protect our kids and end child marriage once and for all.
California Assemblywoman Gail Pellerin is one of the co-sponsors of the bill, which has bipartisan support.
You know, this bill is about one simple principle. Children should not be getting married in California.
The ACLU California Action opposes this bill, saying marriage can provide critical legal protection for pregnant minors and young parents, including emancipation, the right to consent to their own medical care, and access to spousal benefits that are unavailable to unmarried partners. The group also says that minors should retain the right to marry, but with robust protections in place to prevent coercion and abuse.
I respect the role that ACLU and other organizations play in our democracy. My focus is on protecting children, and I believe setting the minimum marriage age at 18 is the clearest and strongest way that we can do that.
Courtney says her marriage and its aftermath were utterly devastating.
It took away my innocence. It took away my education. It completely demolished my self-worth. My autonomy didn't belong to me.
Courtney fighting for accountability in the court of public opinion, too, looking back at times when she'd been the butt of jokes. Just last month, she posted on her Instagram about a 2012 Funny or Die sketch featuring Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, saying in part, "During this comedy sketch, Jason Alexander repeatedly rubbed his phone across my breasts. Looking back now, I don't see comedy. I see a 17-year-old girl whose body became part of an adult joke." Alexander then issuing an apology, telling Variety, "I completely agree that it was inappropriate, and I truly regret it." The video has been removed from Funny or Die. Courtney adamant that she wants to be remembered not for what happened to her, but for helping make sure no child experiences what she did.
I decided to become a survivor for my little self. I mean, that little girl, I think, would be so proud of who I've become today. I've become a woman that would have protected that little girl. And I feel like that is my calling. It's turning my pain into my power. And if that saves one child, it was all worth it.
Our thanks